Let's go. You ready? Big round of applause. Shahar. Ah, there we go. Welcome.
You're sitting over there.
We got a lot of space. Hi, everyone.
They fucking let me do it. Welcome, everybody, on stage and down in the presence area to a live episode of Chiefs Clash. Guys, please be seated.
Thank you.
And today we have with us, maybe you've heard Alex, Alea.
I'm Alex.
Yeah, unlike the other two, is the Alex.
I'm the founder of Alea. Thank you.
Vale, with Profit Matches.
Hello.
Hey, babe. And Whitney. Hi.
Hi.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Just yet
I'm Sasha.
another random guy. Sasha, guys.
I'm from Split the Pot. I'm the commercial director for Africa. And you are?
Shahar. So, how I present usually the company, we do stuff. What is Chiefs Clash? So, during COVID, together with some other industry, we can call them veterans or old people, we were doing some Zoom sessions every week because we missed each other and because it was an excellent excuse to say, no, dear, I don't drink on my own. I'm with friends. And push forward a couple of years later, together with the legendary Nico Jansen, we wanted to create an atmosphere of, picture that, end of day one, hotel lobby, iGaming conference. You lay back with some friends, relax, have a drink, and talk shit about anything and anyone. So that's the kind of the lounge vibe that we wanted to create, and that's what we're having. 31 episodes later, about 150,000 minutes viewed, 150,000 views, and 580 hours streamed. Here we are, at Next. So, very excited. Oh, yeah.
I think it's better.
Yeah, good. By the way, at some point, Valentina will need to rush out because she's a badass.
I'm supporting a charity project, so I need to rush out. We are for less than 20 minutes.
Good. So let's start.
And just to add in, she's going to be walking, hiking 30 kilometers a day for 5 days for
5
charity.
days. El Camino de Santiago.
Sorry, for which cause?
For Sigma Foundation.
Okay,
So I'm supporting.
fantastic, fantastic. Well, actually, we're also supporting Sigma Foundation.
They are doing brilliant.
So it's a great work. You
I've
guys
done
doing.
my charity for this week.
Don't you dare.
I was running with Sasha. So, yeah.
It's been a while. But I can walk today at least.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Small one.
So, Sasha, why are you buying Bet365 and what are you going to do with it?
Well, you're finding the investors, aren't you? How's that going?
What?
Aren't you buying the investors? Finding investors?
No, we'll split. I'll split with everything that I have on me. No, so seriously, guys, what do you think about this potential sale of Bet365? Yeah,
Okay.
you can talk.
So I was surprised by the valuation.
Yeah, right?
I don't remember how many billions, but it's not that
9.
big.
Between 9 and 12.
Yeah. So when you look newer companies that are obviously saying that they're not on regulated markets, not only on regulated markets. So stake, for example, the GGI is around 400 million per month, maybe now $500 million per month. Spribe are doing some crazy numbers, which is more or less the same. I think
Spribe as a provider are doing same mistake?
the same amount of money, more or less, like 500 million GGR per month. I've interviewed actually David Datrashvili 10 days ago. We published a podcast yesterday.
Nice one.
You should listen to it just for the numbers because he's completely transparent and achieved that in 5 years without being from the iGaming industry, coming with no money. 5 years ago, you could have bought 15% of Spribe for 150,000. I didn't know that. And he explained his journey. And now when you see how much the company is making, I think his valuation is more or less the same than Bet365. So when I saw the valuation of Bet365, and after doing the interview with David, putting that into context, and see these two very different companies from old money. Diane Coates didn't create Bet365. She took over a business that her father built, if I'm not mistaken. And David creating it from scratch 5 years ago with zero money. He didn't have money to buy an iPad to go at ICE in 2020. And we have similar valuations. It shows you how this industry gives opportunity to people that are bold. And the most interesting thing, what David says, he didn't invent anything. I mean, Crash Games, I had Crash Games on my casino in 24. SmartSoft created Jetix 1 year before Spribe created Aviator. And in 5 years, we have a multi-billion company valuation. And that's amazing.
Okay, but take it back to Bet365. You're saying that valuation is probably flawed.
Why?
Because if companies, yes, way bigger, but still in the same area, such as FanDuel, are valued between 30 and 40.
So, what's the catch?
Bet365 is not a quarter of it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So what's the catch?
Well, that's the
They are
question.
trying to hide something.
Exactly.
What is it you know I don't know?
I think the question is...
I don't know, Sasha is buying, not me.
Thanks. I think the question is questions around the valuation. How was it done? How was it measured? Otherwise, what is under the bonnet of the car that we're not seeing? It raises questions like, is there things that we don't know?
It could be that there's a little bit of financial engineering strategy here.
Okay.
In the sense that, okay, first of all, as we speak, I think there are a lot of American bankers fighting to actually get advisor to actually work on these deals. But apart from that, I think they might think about more of private equity, say, in order to actually increase the value of the company. What I mean is that they will perhaps, okay, I'm just predicting and maybe it's bullshit, but I think there will be...
It's okay, as I keep saying, it's a LinkedIn video, nobody's watching. Feel free.
They will go on the path of actually closing a deal with the private equity firms to actually then kind of recoup, okay, the money that the private equity firm will actually ask for loan in order to repay with the current cash flow and profit in order in 5 years to actually increase the value of the company.
There's something I'm not following, and I have, much more binary thinking, or they're doing black markets and we don't know it, and they value that...
They were exiting China, which was always the
Okay. So we have a 3-time EBITDA valuation instead of 10 or 15-time EBITDA valuation, or it's the other way around. When I talk with a company that are regulated, especially in UK, they make a little money. I mean, when we see the great companies doing 3 or 4 or 500 million GGR per month, these guys are making, I'm not talking about Bet365, so I'm talking just about the regulated casino in the UK. When they make 10 million GGR per month, it's like, wow, 10 million GGR. Let's say, okay, 20 million GGR. The other one are making 300, 400, 500 million GGR per month. So it's one or the other. They're regulated, they don't make money, and the margin is very small. I forgot to say that. The margin is extremely small. It's not 20%, it's more closer to between 5 and 10%. Or they're doing black markets and the EBITDA multiplier is smaller. I would go personally for more the first one. And now maybe there's something that you've said, they're selling the black assets on the side.
Probably.
Good.
True, that makes sense.
Okay, next.
No pun intended.
I'll throw some buzzwords, each one with your own specialty or what keeps you ticking, and let's chat about it. It's what, like already 1:30? Somebody should say AI. So, Vale, what's going on? AI, iGaming, one sentence, you need to run.
I think it's becoming more of a noise than a strategic asset nowadays. And this pisses me off because I'm a very, very believer in artificial intelligence and large language models. But unfortunately, what I'm seeing now that I'm advising and consulting some clients, unfortunately, many companies are building AI on broken processes without understanding the full meaning of approaching artificial intelligence.
Without cleaning the infrastructure.
Without any data infrastructure, without understanding the value that we want to create by using this piece of technology. AI is not a crystal ball, it's a mirror. It's actually mirroring how we feed the machine with, and if our data are completely fragmented, so there is no data quality audit, then we are completely misuse this amazing piece of technology.
If it's a mirror, I don't like what I am seeing.
But I mean, you say that, but obviously this is something you're passionate about. But if you think there's a massive gap in this market where people aren't AI specialists who can help or advise, there are no jobs available saying we're looking for AI specialists to come and integrate our operations and change things. That job spec doesn't really exist yet, to be completely honest.
Very good point.
It doesn't. Reason why we need to level up our skills, I would say.
Yeah.
With Profit Matches, creating this matchmaking platform where I will be listing all AI and large language model tools dedicated to iGaming, because there are a lot of very sophisticated platforms already there. Two that came to my mind, and I swear I'm not affiliated with them, is Golden Whale and Fieldstream, for example. Which are extremely powerful as long as we understand the goal, why we want to use artificial intelligence, for what use case.
But it's progressing so fast that, for example, I'm not a specialist. So imagine I take that from you and I go and investigate this. By the time I've got my head wrapped around it, I promise you things have changed and there's something new ready. Because it's so fast. So it's kind of like it's moving at such high speed that how do we catch up?
It's very fast, more than you run.
Very fast, just...
I'm not even going to respond. I did it.
But literally play around, trying to understand what there is behind the hood. And you don't need necessarily to become an expert. We are not all engineer here, or no, it's important to understand the mechanics in order to define what you want to improve, what you want to achieve. It's really a strategic approach. Tools are out there, but the tools are not informing the strategy. It's the strategy that actually helps to make the right choices.
Okay, let's move on. What's new in Africa?
What's new in Africa?
Yeah. Don't you like when people say, well, what's going on in the African market?
What part of it would you like to know?
Exactly, yeah.
What part would interest you?
Okay, so up until, let's say, 2 years ago, it was considered to be the next big thing. Everybody talked about it the same as Brazil. Since then, Brazil went through a single regulation that kicked out most of the unlicensed operator, proven to be delivering very good support for operators. And whoever works there can see growth and stability in a way. There are discussions about casino and other regulations, but for now it's still working, while Africa kind of remained as like at some point. So at large now, specific markets in Africa probably are changing in on different aspects. So is there anything that is like catching your attention in the past, like in this year, in 2025?
So I think the last 5 years for South Africa, because obviously that's the biggest market followed by Nigeria, so I'll touch on them both. In South Africa, for example, the Mpumalanga game, so for people that don't know, each region has their own gaming board. Mpumalanga, for the first time in many, many years, if not decades, is finally opening up to selling more licenses. The deadline's the end of May if anyone wants to get in there. So the government is definitely supporting online gaming in a regulated space. The word on the ground from the regulators is that they don't have enough capacity to ever ban illegal operations in South Africa. But how they make it very difficult is with the payments. So that's where people who come in as on the black market or grey market struggle, is with the payments. The government knows this, so their take is let's rather try and open up operations and make it easier in a regulated space so that we can get the tax revenue. Remember, South Africa's a poor country, so they need tax revenues. So they want to encourage the investment, they want to have more licenses, and they want to make it easier. So there's definitely a lot of space. They do make licenses quite difficult. Also for gaming license, if you need to manufacture and produce games for casinos, you have to go through quite a rigmarole to become a supplier. So it is still quite difficult, but they are aware of this, and the regulators, and they are working very hard to change that. So do we think it's going to go like Brazil? I don't think so. I don't think you should be scared of it. And you've just got to choose. There are pros and cons for each side. If you want to play a grey market or if you want to play a regulated space, it's growing rapidly. The players' base is growing. The player dynamics are shifting quite quickly from sportsbook across to casino because obviously of the way it's structured. Online casinos are still illegal in South Africa. There's a workaround using a sportsbook license. So it's slow, the wheel's changing, but it's definitely changing in a positive direction. I don't see it being a crisis like Brazil was.
Okay. Alex, from your perspective, what's the markets in Africa? Do you get your games?
I think the market's not ready yet. There's a little money for the moment, but this was the case in Latam a couple of years ago, so Africa is following Latam probably. We've been there a couple of weeks ago. I think we were the main sponsor of Sigma in Cape Town. I don't see anything really significant there. I don't want to bore the audience. It's not my focus of expertise. I think Sasha knows better about this market than I do. I can say something a little bit about AI. We use AI in Alea to test the APIs, but what a lot of companies are talking about AI, they don't really use AI. What they use is chatbots, okay? So what we need to start using are agents. AI agents which are completely autonomous and interact with each other. So let's say you will have an SEO agent, you will have a content writer agent, you will have a PR agent, you have a backlink agent. I'm just talking about SEO here. So the backlink agent will go and contact all the websites that you could trade backlink with. The content agent will be able to do the content. You will have a content reviewer agent, which will be like a manager. One agent will write the content, the other agent will review the content, and other agents will translate the content, and other agents will review the translated content, okay? So then you have a team of agents that may replace humans, or that will be the assistance of your team, but your team will be leaner. The more I work with AI, and I've worked a lot with ChatGPT, the latest version, during these past weeks, I've seen the improvements. For example, the contextual memory lasts much longer. ChatGPT remembers me even when the contextual window collapses. Okay, this is very new, it's 2 weeks new. Okay, so I would always ask ChatGPT, hey, do you remember me? And it would say before, no, I'm just a large language-based model. I don't have memory. And then when I say, hey, do you know who I am? Yeah, you're Alex. Can you tell me a little bit more about myself? And go into updated saved memory and pulls out everything knows about me. I said, but do you remember more? And the more I ask, the more it is able to go and ping its memory and bring back the contextual memory, which it wasn't able to do a couple of weeks ago. So it's changing very fast. And just one last thing, I had conversation with ChatGPT, philosophical conversation about the nature of its consciousness and our consciousness that I didn't have with any other human being.
It just remind me, we need to wrap up. It just remind me a sentence my friend of mine said that he already knows his last sentence before dying, that somebody please delete my ChatGPT history.
I love that, Shahar. I think you touch base on a very important point. There is a misconception between bots, agents, and automations. And I love the fact that Alea is actually embracing the agentic era, and it's not a matter of replacing the human being, it's assisting and having co-pilots that could actually take a goal, make an action, and repeat at a much faster pace.
But Alex, you're right, and actually, Vale, you and I were talking about it last week, just about AI and how quickly it's changed. Are you going?
Guys, time is
done.
up. We
That was
just
quick.
want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody who came over. Panelists, previous panelists of Chiefs Clash, if you can join us on stage, one photo, and we'll get the hell out of this. Sorry?
And the DAX.
And the DAX.
We have to explain the DAX, though, while we're getting them.
Ooh.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, Chiefs Clash is all about DAX.
Hey.
Why, Sasha?
Because they're awesome.
Because they're awesome.
Hello, how are you?
Hey. Hey.
How we can... Hello.
It's a group reunion.
Nice.
Yes. Okay.
Good stuff. Guys?
We're having a photo.
Good. Have a look.
I've got my duck.
All right.
We're
Alea,
gonna
Let's do something like that. Okay.
Yes?
I'm good at it. I'm good. Don't worry.
Yeah.